PlayStation Plus just revealed the full extra and premium lineup for November, and there's some really interesting surprises in here. We've got a creepy horror game set in my home country, the return of one of the biggest games of all time to PlayStation Plus, which I'm sure a lot of you will be happy about, and even a PS2 era classic coming back for premium members. Later on, I also share my picks of which games you should play first this month. All of these games land on November 18th, so not long to wait. If you're a PlayStation Plus Extra member, you'll get access to the main catalogue, and if you're on Premium, you'll also be able to stream a lot of these games through the cloud, which means PlayStation Portal owners can jump in as soon as they go live. Let's go through the lineup and see what's worth checking out. First up, a game that needs no introduction, is one of the most successful games of all time that continues to print money and has spanned 3 PlayStation console generations. Yes, Grand Theft Auto 5 is coming back to the PlayStation Plus catalogue. At this point, I feel like it's almost like a quiz question you'd get at a pub quiz. Did you own Grand Theft Auto 5 on PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5? Let me know in the comments, because I definitely did. Even if you finished the story before, having GTA 5 back in the catalogue is handy if you fancy dropping into Los Santos again, or just messing around in that world without having to buy it all over again, in the rare case you don't own this game already. Does anyone else at this point really wish, while we wait for GTA 6 though, that Rockstar would just give us a GTA 4 remaster? Next is Pacific Drive. This is a first-person run-based driving survival game where your battered old station wagon car is your lifeline. You're repairing it, upgrading it, and heading deeper into a strange, anomaly-filled version of the Pacific Northwest. I haven't played it yet, but from everything shown so far, it looks like a really unusual spin on the survival genre, with your car almost being treated as your character and your lifeline. Definitely one I'm interested in trying when it hits the catalogue, and it's the perfect kind of slow-paced experience for the PlayStation Portal via cloud streaming. Now on to the game that instantly jumped out at me, Still Wakes the Deep. This is a narrative horror game set on an oil rig off the coast of Scotland, yes, my home country, which already gives it a very different atmosphere compared to most horror games. Being Scottish myself, that setting and those accents just hit a lot closer to home than usual. It's developed by the Chinese Room, which is the studio behind Everybody's Gone to the Rapture and Amnesia, a Machine for Pigs, and it has already done incredibly well. Still Wakes the Deep actually picked up 3 BAFTA Game Awards, including Best New IP. From what we've seen, it's very much a slow burn, story-driven horror experience with a big focus on atmosphere and sound design rather than, kind of constant jump scares. If you like that style of horror, this one really stands out in the lineup. I just think this will be brilliant on the Portal, at night, lights off, with headphones on, if you're brave enough. Easily one of the standout additions this month. And again, the slow pace of this is ideal for cloud streaming on the Portal. If you prefer something more intense and tactical, there's Insurgency Sandstorm. This is a modern military shooter that leans towards slower, more grounded gameplay. From the way people talk about it, it's often recommended to anyone who misses that old SOCOM, style of team-based tactical combat. It's not something I've played yet myself, so I can't speak from experience, but if you like methodical shooters where positioning and communication matter, this could be one to keep on your radar. Plus, this will be ideal for those of you who are fed up with multiplayer on Call of Duty becoming like Fortnite and want more realism in their FPS war games. Next is Thank Goodness You're Here. This one is completely bizarre looking, and I almost want to play it just to see what the hell is going on. My research tells me it's a colourful slapformer. Yes, you heard that right. I assume this is for slapstick comedy mashed together with platformer. I don't know. The game is set in a strange northern English town filled with odd characters, weird humour, and silly tasks that keep escalating. It makes me think of something between Monty Python and Untitled Goose Game, and I think we're probably not far off what to expect thinking that way. It could be a great game for short, funny gaming sessions, or it could be absolute garbage. Only time will tell when we get our hands on this, when it arrives on PlayStation Plus. Now, for anyone who wants something way more thoughtful, there is the Talos Principle 2, which is a first-person puzzle game with a big focus on philosophy, sci-fi ideas, and environmental puzzling. The original Talos Principle built up a strong reputation among puzzle fans, and from what's been shown, the sequel leans even harder into that mix of brain teasers and big questions about humanity and technology, which is kind of timely given AI seems to be taking over the world right now, so this game might be really worthwhile jumping into. So if you like puzzle games that really make you think, this one will be right up your street. It looks slow paced, it looks really good visually, and it should be great for streaming through the cloud on the portal. Then we have Monster Jam Showdown. This is very much on the opposite end of the scale here. Big trucks, big jumps, and over-the-top arcade-style racing. There isn't a lot more that needs to be said here. If you just want something loud and silly to blow off some steam with, this looks like it'll do the job nicely. And it looks like some good old split screen racing 2 is making a return, which is always nice to see. Can't beat a little bit of couch co-op racing. I know it's couch co-op, but you're racing against each other. You know what I mean? It's always fun to do that. And then we have MotoGP 25, which also joins the lineup, which is very different from the last racing game, because this is a full sim racer with all the official tracks, riders, and a big career mode. This is based on Unreal Engine 5, so it looks stunning, but it will be interesting to see how this looks on the portal when streaming from the cloud, as it's a really fast racing game, and I find racing games can be the ones which show up the cloud streaming a little bit due to the bitrate, but we will see what it looks like when we get our hands on it. It's also a racing genre, superbikes I mean, that I've never really got into. I always choose racing games with cars or spaceships like Wipeout, but if you're into bikes, this is one which is definitely worth trying. Now for PlayStation Plus Premium, we have the return of a classic, Tomb Raider Anniversary. Now this game was originally released on the PlayStation 2 as a reimagined take on the very first PlayStation 1 Tomb Raider game, with smoother movement, tighter platforming, and updated level layouts compared to that of the original 90s version. With the 2 remastered trilogies of the first 6 games doing so well recently, it's great to see even more classic Lara content coming to PlayStation. And yes, I'll admit it, I've still got the deluxe steelbook edition of the first remastered trilogy sealed here, which sits on my shelf. The backlog is really out of control, people. However, Anniversary arriving in the Premium Classics lineup feels like the perfect timing if you're in the mood to revisit Lara's earlier adventures. Maybe you've played some of these and now you can jump into this one also. Now I just hope we hear news about the brand new Tomb Raider game, which Crystal Dynamics are supposedly working on, and I think it's going to be published by Amazon Games. That's kind of went calm silent. What's going on with that? Fingers crossed it is a really good one and we hear some news about that soon. Alright, time for my 2 picks to play first from this month's catalogue, and my first pick is still Wakes the Deep. The Scottish oil rig setting, the focus on atmosphere, and the fact it has already picked up multiple BAFTA awards makes it a really easy recommendation. If you're into story-driven horror, it's a no-brainer. Even if you're not, it still looks really good fun. And my second pick is Tomb Raider Anniversary. I'll just pick this up again to be my prop. With all the recent love for classic Tomb Raider, this is a great chance to go back to a reimagined version of that original adventure from the PlayStation 1 and experience it in a slightly more modern form. 2 very different games, but both are ones I'm really looking forward to spending some time with. I'm really interested to see what games you all want to play first from the lineup, so drop your choice in the comments below, because I check through them and the conversations around these monthly updates are always great. And if you want to keep going with more PlayStation news and Portal coverage, the latest episode of the Gaming Coffee Club podcast is on screen right now. It covers all the biggest stories and changes happening across PlayStation each and every week.